Hi, I'm Donna Davis. I'm here with Pamela Snow, a design manager at Fleming Flooring. And today, Pamela is here to answer all of your questions. We're going to talk a lot about tile and stone, but she can answer any question that you have about flooring. Welcome to the show, Pamela.
Thank you, Donna. It's good to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and let's talk a little. So many people are interested in their homes and making their homes more beautiful right now. Have you guys been busier than ever?
We have been very busy. It's amazing how much business and activity we have had. So we're very fortunate and very blessed to be busy, and we hope to continue that.
That's great. So we want to show our viewers some video that shows how expansive Fleming is. You guys have an amazing selection, and you get an idea of how big that is, but you really have to walk in to see. And tell us a little bit about some of the brands and things that you carry and different flooring products that you have.
Well, we pretty much cover the flooring in general. We cover from tile and stone, we cover carpet, all different types, variations, as well as all hard surfaces. So that could be hardwood or engineered hardwood. It could also be a luxury vinyl plank, a laminate floor. Pretty much cover the spectrum on that.
And I really like that you guys have designers there in the showroom, so it's very consultative and focused on the things that people need rather than just trying to sell you.
Yes, we try to make sure that we understand the needs of the customer so that we can help them make their best selection. It can be a little overwhelming at first, and flooring covers a good portion of your home in many ways. And so we try to make sure that we hear what they say and provide them with an education so they can make the best choice.
Yeah. So let's talk about along the lines of education today. Let's talk about tile and stone and just kind of give us an overview of some of the things that people might need to know as they're shopping for these products.
Tile is probably our most detail-oriented installation and product selection. We carry quite a few different manufacturers. We have Interceramic, we have Zumpano, Shaw, Mohawk, Tesoro, Topku, Happy Floors, and we carry some additional products as well that are really excellent for specialties of some sort. We also carry stone, and all of these most of these manufacturers have a stone line. And so it's just a matter of honing in on the preferences of the customer and then trying to fill those needs.
Okay, so I know you have some examples with you today.
Sure.
Tell us the difference in, say, porcelain and tile, or tile and stone.
Right. Stone is a natural product. There's an interesting tagline for stone, and that is it's guaranteed not to match. So if you are looking for something that's a very natural product that has a good bit of variation in it, and you embrace that variation in your design, then stone's a great product for you. If you prefer something that has a stone look, then a porcelain tile or a ceramic tile is going to be more to your liking. And the tiles are designed to emulate a stone look or a brick look or a hand-painted tile. And so there's a lot of variation, and there will be variation within the tiles, but just not as wide a range as a natural stone would be. And there's a big difference in cost as well. So the natural stone, whether it be marble or travertine or limestone, is definitely going to be more expensive than a porcelain tile 90% of the time.
Yeah, let's see some examples, like show us some of the tiles that you brought and, kind of let us know a little bit about each one of these.
Well, I brought some smaller pieces, of course, today rather than some large pieces. But for instance, there is a pebble stone. We do this as accents or on the shower floor, places where you want to create a little bit of interest. This is a very organic look, and a lot of people are interested in keeping some natural qualities, even if they go with a porcelain tile. There are also different mosaics that are great out of marble. So you have a very mini herringbone, a larger herringbone. A lot of times these are used as well on shower floors as well as accents as well. And all of these stone looks are going to come in larger pieces so that if you need a 12 by 24 size on your main floor and want to coordinate that in your shower, there's options to do that. There are also some that are very decorative in the natural stone, such as with a combination of color, both like this has a white and a gray, has a very much a floral pattern of sorts, and definitely gives you a lot of interest. They're going to come in different finishes as well. So you get a lot of variation in a stone. And so it does, a lot of your pictures and things that people find on Pinterest and Houzz will have a lot of these higher end natural stone mosaics. But there will be porcelains and ceramics that will also allow you some interest and a look, but yet would be a little more cost effective. So something like, say, this mosaic, if you were looking for something interesting, you would come in all different colors, but an interesting shape, and it's going to be more cost effective than a natural stone might be. So it just, I mean, it can really go on and on and on. Porcelain tiles are going to come in all different shapes and sizes. Right now, the trend is to do a larger format tile in many cases, like a 12 by 24 or something of that nature. And they're all different directions that you can run the tile. So it could be in more of a staggered or a brick running bond type of thing, or it could be laid straight, both horizontally and vertically. They can be placed on floors as well as walls. One thing to take into consideration is that any floor tile can be put on a wall as well, but wall tile is not constructed so that it can go on a floor.
Oh,
Some
that
of
is
that has,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
A lot of the reason has to do with the weight capacity of a tile. A porcelain is always rated for the floor, and it can withstand heavier weights than a wall tile. A wall tile is not usually compressed as tightly, and therefore doesn't allow you the weight capacity.
Okay. Do you have any other examples with you today?
Yeah, I've got a few others. Another trend that we're doing a lot of is an encaustic look tile. Now, this is an encaustic look. So there are true encaustic tiles, and the difference is that an encaustic tile is a true cement tile and is hand painted. It's a tile that has a little bit more maintenance involved to it in that it needs to be sealed both from the bottom and the top, because the design on a true encaustic or cement tile can sort of wear off over time, which is part of its beauty. But at the same time, you wouldn't want to put it in an area that was going to be had high foot traffic without being sure that it was a sealed product. The encaustic look tiles, however, are usually a glazed product, which also helps with their care and maintenance. You would treat it very much like you would any other tile. So the encaustic look is just a great trend right now, and they come in all shapes and sizes, all different patterns, and some of that sort of thing. And we may have some photos later that we can look at just some other patterns.
Where might you use a tile like that? That's really extraordinary. It's almost like art. Where might you use that?
It is. It's very much an art feature or very much a focal point. Those are going to be beneficial on backsplashes if you had a backsplash that you wanted to have a little bit more of a focal point, or even as an accent above a cooktop of some sort. That could be used there. I also do it on shower walls. And I do it on bathroom floors as well, and in laundry room. A lot of people like to add something just a little different to a laundry room to make that mundane, routine place a little more fun. And so I do it often in a laundry room. It's more of a confined space. It's limited in its quantity, so it's something that even if you change some of what you do in the rest of your home 10 years from now, that tile can work for you.
Yeah, I never thought about a laundry room. That's interesting to make those more fun. Yeah, that's the kind of mundane thing that we hate to do.
Yeah.
Any other examples you have today?
The other thing that I have is a hexagon tile. We do a lot of hexagon. I also am doing a lot of, I'm trying to see if I get the color just right on this, but this is kind of a blue denim. We're doing a lot of blue right now. And the hexagon has become a shape. It's a very classic design, a very classic shape. And so therefore, the industry has kind of expanded on that and increased the size of it so that it's suitable for larger spaces as well. So often that would go on a bathroom floor, and then the shower or the tub surround might be something as simple as just a subway. And subways have changed a lot as well.
And how have they changed?
Well, instead of just your classic 3x6, we've gone to larger sizes. They could be a 4x12, 4x8, 3x12. So they take on a little bit more bulk. They carry a little more weight with them. So like if you have a full shower and you don't want to have, because one of the first things that people request is, I really don't love grout. Nobody really loves grout because it just over time can get dirty. They've improved grout a lot, and so the grout that we have chosen to use is Prism, and it has the color built all the way through it, and it can also help set your design element. Most grouts now have a mold and mildew inhibitor. They have the color going all the way through, and they withstand a lot more than maybe they did years ago. And there are a lot of color options now that maybe they weren't around 30 years ago. So grout's not as much of a headache as it was, but people, it's still their least favorite part of tile, let's be honest. But as far as subways go, you have your glossy 3x6 subway, which is a very standard pattern. But they also have made, this is like a 3x9 tile. It's more of a matte finish. It has some variation in its color, etc. And it just allows for a different texture on that backsplash or on that shower wall if you're wanting to keep it a little more organic. So for instance, this could be a great subway to put with that pebblestone floor that you wanted to have a little more organic. And then as far as even the gloss tiles, subway tiles, they've changed a good bit as well.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And so this has a beautiful blue color. There are a lot of tiles that have, and this will be available in whites and creams as well, but they've made some of them a little more decorative. And then this is just a little bit more of a simple tile, but a lot of them now have some undulation. So they've got a little bit of movement in them, so it picks up the light just differently, just a little bit, just to show that it can, just gives a slightly different look. And there's always going to be those hand-thrown tiles that have an uneven edge along the edges, so choosing the grout sometimes can be a little more important with those because depending on the contrast color between the tile and the grout, may show the pattern a little bit more, may show that uneven edge, which a lot of people prefer versus a just straight edge.
Yeah, so many things to learn. I had no idea. I love what a wealth of information you are. So let's go to some of the pictures that we have of projects that you've actually done, and you can describe and give us some ideas from these.
Sure. So this is considered a subway tile. As you can tell, it has some texture and variation. It is not a natural stone. It would be a porcelain or a ceramic, and we would call this a staggered installation because the bricks are staggered in the joints so that you get a little bit more of a traditional kind of brick look, even though the tile is a little bit different. It does emulate very much a look of a stone. And so that's
great.
obviously a kitchen
Yeah.
backsplash.
It does look like stone.
Yeah. And then,
wow.
yeah, this was a great
Wow.
one. The marble look is very popular right now. So you can there are a wide variety of marble look tiles. This one happens to show a glossy finish. One thing that we might want to note on porcelain and tiles that look like marble is they are, there's a gloss finish that most of the time we would put on the wall. And then there will usually be a matte finish or a satin finish that often would be installed on the floor. Part of that is for the safety. A lot of people don't feel comfortable putting a glossy finish tile on the floor because of the concern of water and slipping. Most of these porcelains will absorb some moisture, but if you were to get a large puddle and you were to hit it just right, stepping out of the shower or whatever, you could slip and fall. So the matte tiles tend to prevent that because they have some natural, I'm going to say, abrasion built in just to prevent that from happening. Let me segue for a second with this marble look just to speak about stone. Stone or marble stone is more porous, and so therefore, because it's more porous, the moisture is absorbed into the stone. Its density is going to be dependent on where it's quarried from, so depending on how far below and how long it's been compressed would depend on how dense it is, and so it will absorb water differently at different rates. It will dry, but sometimes it will sometimes change or sort of enhance or deepen the coloration of the stone. So oftentimes that's one reason that we'll even go to a tile look marble instead of the actual marble, because people are a little uncertain about that variety.
Yeah, so do we have any other pictures to go to?
I think there's a couple more.
Yeah. Wow. So pretty.
One tile look I hadn't mentioned so far, and I didn't have a sample with me today, but is a wood look tile. And a wood look tile has still been a very popular tile look that we have been using often, especially if it's coming off of a carpeted bedroom and people like the idea of a tile look to give it a little bit more of an organic feel. If they're working it with a natural stone or with a pebble stone of some sort, it just gives a nice look. And it's been around for a while, and people keep asking me, is it still hanging around? Is it still a popular style? And we still are doing a lot of wood look tiles as well.
Wow, that is wood look tile?
Yes, ma'am. And they can be very realistic.
Wow, it's just stunning. And I love that it sets that so apart from all the other beautiful finishes in that bathroom.
It does. It can definitely enhance the space.
Wow. Now, okay, let's talk about this one.
This is another type of encaustic tile, and this is a very popular design. It takes 4 of those tiles to create that pattern. So part of it is just putting those patterns together and creating that space. So this would be something that would be great in, like I said, any of those spaces we talked about, in a bath area, a laundry room. This could also be put on a wall as well, as an accent wall on a shower or something of that look. But that's an actual encaustic look tile, not an actual encaustic tile.
Oh, interesting. And it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and they come in different shapes and sizes, and they come in different colorations, and some are more faded and subtle, and some are just stronger.
Yeah. So do we have any more pictures? Yeah.
Yes. So there is just a standard 12 by 24 on this floor. And in addition to that, the fireplace surround has a type of stone or ledger stone put on there. So it's a little bit rougher texture, closer to a brick look. But that can also totally change the look of your fireplace, whether you want a nice sleek marble or whether you want something that has more texture to it.
Okay, so here's a question. Just
Okay.
personally, I have a marble, background. It's like it's green marble background on the fireplace. Can you put something like that over it?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It sometimes depends on the structure of the fireplace, and how well what you currently have on there is secure. Oftentimes, the other thing is if you apply anything on top of it, it's going to bring that tile out, and it might change your finished edge on your mantle, depending on how that is completed, and on your actual fireplace insert.
Yeah, I got you. Wow, that's beautiful though. And we
It
do
is
want to
pretty.
invite people to ask your questions. You don't have to ask about tile and stone. You can ask about anything with flooring. Pamela knows it all. And while we're waiting on questions, Pamela, do you want to go to the website? And I've got it pulled up, and we can talk about how they can, people can use your website. And I've got it pulled up to the tile and demonstrate some different colors.
Sure.
So I think we can, show you that. So you can literally put in a color and, get your, get some ideas with that particular color, right?
Right, exactly. And so on there, you're going to see both stone looks as well as tile looks, as well as just as you're scrolling down, you're seeing another wood look tile there on the left, and the pebble stone as well. It's going to just show you different tile options that we have available to us in the store. And we can show you samples of those. You've got different shapes, the geoscape, the different mosaics that can be used, all of that. So, and it's very accessible just to sort of experiment. And every line is going to have some variation within it, and you can certainly experiment with that as well, and just kind of get a feel for what options we might have to offer you.
So you mentioned some of the tiles that you've talked about today seem like blue is a really in color. Is blue and maybe blue and gray? Tell me about some of the popular colors, and I'll pull those up. So we're seeing blue right now.
Yes, and blue, it tends to be one of those colors that's design trends cycle back around all the time. So the blue, the indigo type shading right now is very popular. It works great with the gray tones as well. It's also very good with a warmer undertone. So if you tend to like warmer tiles in general, a blue accent of sort is a great option for you.
Yeah. And is gray also popular right now?
Well, it is. Gray is still very on trend. There are different shades of gray. So there are some cool grays that lean more towards the blue side. There are warmer grays that might have a touch more beige or brown undertone to them. So a lot of times it just depends on where your preference is and whether you definitely like that cool side versus the warm side. And I would say that my grays currently are maybe a tad warmer than they were for a while. 5 or 6 years ago, it was very much a cool gray, but we still do a tremendous amount of Carrera, which is going to have that cool gray. But within that Carrera line, mosaics, that kind of Calcutta, those have some warmer tones. A lot of the trends of colors combine with whatever a natural stone is. So a tile is made to definitely look like a stone in most cases, and so depending on where that trend is where it's going. We're doing some juniper type greens as well. So deep tones, a lot of cabinetry is done in that color, so sometimes we'll pull out that kind of coloration for backsplashes and things like that.
Wow, who would have thought green?
I know.
I
know.
wonder in this pandemic if those natural colors will come out, nature colors like the browns and the greens. Since you just mentioned that, I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're definitely seeing a little bit warmer tone than cool, like I said, like we had 5-6 years ago. We're also doing a lot of brick look tiles. It's just kind of a lot of foyers, mud rooms, that sort of thing. We're doing a lot of those as well, and they just give you, once again, a little bit more of that natural feel.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Who would have thought green? But I love this.
Yeah.
It's just,
There's
and
some-
that looks
there's
very, yeah, contemporary. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but that's absolutely true. There's all kinds of variations and mixtures, and that's a mosaic that a lot of people would want to put as an accent or put on a backsplash.
Right. So are there any other things that you would like for me to go to on the website? And if so, just kind of talk me through it but I love your website. I love there's so many designer tools on it.
There are, and I think every time we speak, there's also the design tool option that allows people to kind of look at, and there's a gallery, I think, option of just some photographs of things, a gallery of installed work that sometimes gives people just a hint of an idea of things that maybe can happen. And there's going to be all kinds of, there's a herringbone, there's some tile. If you'll scroll down to the tile right there, you'll see a couple of tiles rooms. One of them shows a framed accent there right in the center. And that's using a chair rail type of thing to frame out an accent within that. That's another encaustic look that you see there as well. And but sometimes for people, they just want to see that that space just a little bit more of an accent. And an encaustic look, just showing what you can do with it in an office and that sort of thing. The other if you'll exit out, there to the left. Yeah. I don't know if it's left or right. I get confused. But with these are called with the arch niche. That is an area that is inset into the wall and usually has a frame. It usually has some sort of accent to it. I think the other photograph on the right will show a little better the niche that I was speaking. Yeah, you can see that has a marble accent, just a simple subway tile. And in that, they have framed it into the wall, and it just allows you to put a little extra special something in there. We're doing a niche in almost every shower that we do. Gives you a good location to put something decorative, but it also gives you a place to put your supplies, your shampoo, your soap, all of that, your body wash, all of that. And then below that niche, you will see a bench, which is definitely something that we're doing in a lot of showers. The benches can be built in out of concrete block and then finished off at the top. Either with the wall tile or with a solid surface that you do similarly to your countertop. Or there are some floating benches available as well, and corner benches. So you can accomplish the goal of giving yourself a place to rest if you need to, as well as sometimes it's just a foot prop for ladies, so they can shave their legs. It's just sometimes it's very basic and functional as well as decorative.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. So a lot of variations. The website is amazing. You can you can even look at your your room, upload pictures of your particular room. This is under design tools, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's under design tools.
Yeah, so I love this. You go to design a room, right? And
that's correct.
You can upload pictures of your own room.
That's right.
And it's just wonderful. So there's a lot of things, a lot of functionality to this website that you would just love.
Right. It does give you a place to sort of play and experiment and see how something might change. Because if you're going from a dark tile and want to go to a light tile or vice versa, it can highly impact the look of the room and the light within the room. Same thing with carpet and hardwood. If you've had a light color carpet and now you're going to a hard surface of some sort, even if you do a lighter floor, it's probably going to be a little darker than your carpet might have been. So it's always helpful to get a feel for the room itself.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pamela.
No, go ahead. That's no problem.
I was just going to say, yeah, when you go to this design now, you just hit select a room and it'll go to a picture on your computer. You upload it, right? And then you can, yeah, like you said,
Yes.
look at it in different ways, right?
In different ways, absolutely. The great thing about taking a picture of your own space is it provides you the same sort of light and the same sort of your furniture that you're going to see it with and all of that. So you get a real good feel for how it would look if you were to change the product on the floor.
Yeah. So this has been great today, Pamela. Is there anything else you want to add before we finish up?
No, I mean, we didn't talk a lot about maintenance of things. I just want to throw out there that stone is definitely a maintenance that is a little more specific in cleaning, because a lot of people will ask that question, what's the difference in cleaning? I would say would be, it has to be cleaned with a stone cleaner. It can't just be cleaned with any cleaner. It can't just be cleaned with Clorox or that sort of thing. It's not going to be good for the stone. Where a tile is a little more resilient, it's not that I would put Clorox on my tile on a regular basis, but if you had an area where you needed to get into that corner for a little bit of grout cleaning with a little Clorox there on a toothbrush or something for maintenance, you can certainly do that. And the grout, like I said, it's much more durable and much more resilient.
Yeah, all very good points. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been really informative.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and hopefully we can help educate our consumer and help them make the best choice for their job.
Okay, thank you. We
Thank
hope you all
you.
have a great day.